In this video, I will be showing you how to set up your RockSim fins in Inventor for laser cutting. So I'm currently in Schoology in the Pringle Chip Rocket folder, and you will notice that there is a file called Laser Cut Fins. I want you to left click on this file once. It will open up a new window. Go ahead and click on that file a second time, and this time it will download. Now do not click on the file. Instead, I want you to click this up arrow and select Show in Folder. This file will automatically download to your Windows Downloads folder. We're going to go ahead and rename it. So with your mouse, I want you to right click on the file and select Rename. Do me a favor and do not get rid of the .dwg extension. Instead, you can simply highlight the last names and period number. It does not matter if this is in uppercase or lowercase. I'm going to type in my last name, Shift 7, my partner's last name, and the period number. I'm also going to leave the laser cut fins in the file name just so I know what this file is referencing. I'm going to hit the Enter key on my keyboard. And at this point in time, I can go ahead and just take this file and I can double click on it. This is a DWG file, which will actually open up in Inventor as a drawing file. And this is a two-dimensional drawing. So we're going to be taking the STLs that you and your partner saved to your desktop, and we're going to be opening them and making some adjustments to both the line thickness and to the orientation. So here we are inside our template. Over here on the left, this is called your model browser. There is a sketch I created that I do not want you to open or delete. This sketch is referring to this boundary that you see here. We need to make sure that anything we place in this drawing does not touch this boundary. It can get close to it, simply not touch it or overlap it. You can use the wheel on your mouse to zoom in and zoom out. Wherever you place your mouse, that becomes the focal point. And a lot of times I like to use the hand tool or pan tool to move the sheet to the left or to the right or up and down. To get out of any tool, you can either hit the escape key on your keyboard, or you can also just right click on the screen and hit done. So I have my pointer tool. I'm going to go ahead and open up my first fin. So up here in the upper left hand corner, I'm going to select File, and you can select Open. And when you click on the Open option, you're going to make sure that you select specifically files of type, hit the drop down, and make sure you select STL. This is the file format we used in RockSim when we exported our fin file. Now you will find your file more than likely is on the desktop. On your desktop, you're going to see a file with a 1.7 inch and a 2-inch body tube. Does not matter which one you start with. I'm going to start with the 1.7 inch body tube. You'll notice it says 3 fin set. So I'm going to select this file. Once again, if you don't see your files, make sure you have STL selected under Files of Type. It is very important before you hit the Open button to have the file selected and then select Options. You will find under Import Units that this needs to be changed from template units to millimeters. Very important step so that the file or the fin comes in to scale. Go ahead and select OK. And I'm just going to hit Open. Now something kind of funny is going to happen. You're going to notice that this drawing is going to disappear for a moment, and instead you're going to see a new drawing appear on the bottom. Just to be clear, the original drawing is here, is what we downloaded from our Pringle Chip Rocket folder, but the STL file opens up in a new tab and simply shows you a 3D model of it. We're not going to do anything with this file, but do leave this tab open. Leaving this open, I'm going to return back to my laser cut fin template. And this time I'm going to jump up here and select the base option. Now, this is under the tab called Place Views. So in the event you accidentally click on a different tab, the Place Views tab has the base option. I'm going to click on base just once. And you'll notice that I get this message. This message is going to allow us to open the file, and I'm going to select OK. You will notice a few things. Number one, the scale. Very important. The scale should always be 1:1, which means the fin comes in original size. In the event it's not, the drop down allows you to select it. Before I hit OK, another thing you'll see over here is this view cube. I can actually rotate the fin, which can be done now. It can also be done later when I first open up my STL. I'm not going to be too concerned about this yet. For now, I'm just going to open it as I've done, make sure the scale is 1:1, and I'm simply going to hit OK. Now, we have to make the line thickness a certain thickness and color in order to laser cut this design. I'm not going to worry about moving it, not going to worry about copying it yet. I need to first take my first fin, make changes, and then I'll make multiple copies of it. So we're going to leave this as it is. I'm going to click on this little plus arrow next to the fin drawing that I just opened. And when I click on the plus, you're going to see what looks like an inventor file. You're going to simply right click on this file. And when you right click on this file, it looks like a little cube, you want to select properties. We're going to be doing something right now that we're going to repeat again when we bring in our second fin design. So two things need to happen here. We're going to deselect by layer, uncheck that box. The default line weight should say 0.01 millimeters. In the event it does not, drop down, make sure it's set to 0.01. But the only change we're making here is by deselecting by layer and changing the color. This is important. Color tells the laser cutter to either cut or to engrave. We're going to change the color to red. Select the red box, hit OK, and then once again, line weight should be 0.01. The by layer box should be unchecked. When I now select the OK button, you will see that my fin, first of all, line thickness got very thin, but if I click off of it, you'll also notice it's now red. Very important. Now I'm going to move this fin somewhere in this general workspace. And when I hover over this, you see 4 little arrows. I'm going to zoom in a little closer here. 4 little arrows. Okay, if you don't see the 4 arrows, you can't move it. So you have to hover over your design. When you see the 4 arrows, you can move it. Be careful. You can move your fin design close to this white border, but never ever touch it or overlap it. So this is I would not want to get any closer than this. I could even back up a little bit if I need to. But you can zoom in and zoom out and always check to see where you are in relation to that border. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just hit the save button right here, just to save what I've done so far. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just move this fin to a general location. I'll go ahead and start over here on the far left. The idea is I have a 3 fin set. What I actually want you to do is give yourself an extra fin. Just in case something happens, you always have an extra. So I'm actually going to have 4 of these fins, even though I only need 3 for my rocket. In the event you're not able to fit extra fins in this workspace, simply come see me, but I have a feeling you'll make it work. So let's go ahead and start copying and pasting and rotating some of these fins to make them all fit nicely. And remember, this is your first fin set. We're still going to do this for our second fin set. So now that I've changed the line thickness and the color, I'm going to go ahead and simply right click on that drawing, on that fin, and I'm going to hit copy. And I'm going to right click anywhere in the space and I'm going to hit paste. Okay, that is why we changed this one first, so that anything we copy and paste now has the same properties. Once again, I can move this fin. I'll put this one right here. I can continue this process. I can right click and hit copy, or since I've already copied, I can simply just keep hitting paste. Okay, there's my third one. I'll right click and hit paste again. And there's my fourth one. So this is where you're going to have to get creative and make all of these fins fit. Now let's keep something in mind here. I have 4 fins. Even though it's a 3-fin rocket, I have an extra fin. But I have yet more fins to put here. So watch how I do this, and then you're going to basically repeat this for your other fin set. I need to do some rotating and kind of put this together like a puzzle. Okay, let me start with this one right here. If you ever double click on a fin, you will see a screen that you've seen before. You saw this earlier, but you also saw what I call the view cube. I'm not going to do anything but rotate. That's it, just rotate. I can either rotate left or I can rotate right. I'm actually going to rotate this upside down. And I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going to hit OK. You might start to see what I'm doing right now. I'm actually making a little bit more efficient use of my space. And you can now see I can actually move these fins much closer and get them fairly close without touching or overlapping. Let them breathe just a little bit. Let me do that again to this fin. I'm going to leave this one alone just like this, but I'm going to rotate this one as I did this one here. So I'm going to double click. Once again, you can always move this out of your way if it's in your way. We're not changing anything here. We're only using the view cube. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate this one again. That's it. I'm going to hit OK. In the event you ever make a mistake, just hit Control Z and try it again. So this is actually looking pretty good. This is actually a 3-fin set rocket, but with 4 fins to give myself an extra fin just in case something happens. Let me go ahead and hit save. And we're pretty much going to repeat this process for the last set of fins. Once again, you might be able to go towards the end of the video and watch me export the PDF, since you're going to basically repeat what I just did for the next set of fins. But anyway, let's follow along. So we're going to open up our next fin set. I'm going to go to File, Open. This time I'm going to open up my 2-inch fin set. You'll notice the default is already STL, but make sure that is set to STL if it's not. That way you can see your STL file. I'm going to hit Open. Once again, it opens a new tab with the fin. Do not touch this file, do not close it. Simply return back to the original template file. Once again, under Place Views, I will select Base. When you are prompted with this message, simply hit OK, making sure the scale is 1:1. Nothing else gets changed. I could start to rotate, or I can simply leave it for now. I'm going to hit OK. So we're going to go back through the motions again, but pay close attention to your file names. Whenever you hover over a file name, you can see which file or which fin it's referring to. So this is my new fin. So we hit the plus symbol, and I right click on what looks like an inventor file. I select Properties. Once again, deselect by layer. Make sure your line weight is 0.01 millimeters, and change the color to red so that the laser cutter will cut the fin out. Select OK. Hit OK again. I'm going to go ahead and roll my wheel, zoom in a little bit. This one should be fairly easy, and I'll actually click off to once again prove that this is a red outline. It's much thinner now. I'm going to hover over the fin, move it, and once again I can right click. If I didn't get the first time, let's try that again. Right click, copy, right click anywhere in your workspace and select paste. And once again I can continue to right click and simply hit paste. And it's even okay if temporarily the fin is going off the page. That is fine. We're going to go ahead and fix this in just a moment. As you add more fins, it's going to get a little tighter until we rotate. Keep in mind this is a 3-fin rocket, but I gave myself a 4th fin as a backup. So I think we can figure out what's going to happen next. So I'm going to go ahead and take and double click on the fin design. Nothing changes here. I'm just going to rotate this and rotate only. I'm going to select OK. This is going to give me the means to put the fin here. I'm going to double click on this one. Once again, rotate only. And then once again, hit OK. And go ahead and move this fin over here. Okay, this should be very simple in terms of putting either an extra fin for a 3-fin or 4-fin rocket. But those of you with 4-fin rockets obviously will be putting your fins maybe closer together. And let's, just to be clear, I'm going to zoom in really close here. Let's give ourselves a little bit of breathing room. I would not get a fin any closer than this. I should probably back this off just a little bit. But when in doubt, just raise your hand and or come get me and I'll take a look. But do give these a little bit of breathing room if you can. So that is done. I have finished importing all my fins. I'm going to hit save. And the last and final step is to go to File, Export, and we're going to export a PDF file of your fins. Now, the file name will not change, okay? It's going to remain as your original template file that you renamed. For right now, it can be saved to your downloads folder. That is fine. I really don't even mind if you save it over to your desktop. Either or is fine. And the reason behind that is we're going to actually copy and paste this to our TechEdP folder. So I'm going to just save it in downloads. That is absolutely fine. That's basically by default. It's going to be a PDF file. I just hit save. And I'm just going to minimize Inventor. And here is my downloads folder. Your downloads folder is underneath this PC. Typically you'll find your downloads folder right here. Okay. All I need to do is right click on my PDF and hit copy. And then under this PC, I'm going to go to what your computer will say TechEdP, bolts, and in my case, I will go to the period where I want to copy it and simply right click anywhere in this space. I like to right click anywhere where there's some white space and hit paste. Double check that you now have a PDF of your laser cut fins for laser cutting. You'll be watching a video on how to set up the laser cutter, and cutting out fins takes about less than a minute. So this is a very quick process. Good luck.